Good. Cheers. Pretty good.
You knew you were off to a good start?
Yeah. Well, it's yeah, well the album got out and that was taking a lot of time and energy and it's finally out. It's finally over and also then I had the last court trial for my asylum case happening, which 8th of January was its last day. So now two of the big things are over and I'm shifting the focus on other things now.
Oh, nice. So when as planned?
Yes, yeah, it went as planned actually, and we'll expect the result probably by 8th of February.
Oh, good. That's excellent. Shame you
Yeah,
had to do all that, but it's excellent.
yeah, fingers crossed.
So let's talk about how am I pronouncing this? It can't be my American pronunciation, right? Is it caboose?
It's in Persian we pronounce it like Kaaboos.
Okay, so I wasn't terribly off.
No, it was good for yeah,
For an American.
yeah.
Hey, so now that Anti-Cosmic Rebellion is out and you said it's a relief to have it gone, how do you feel about it? What's been the response to it so far?
Well, the response has been really good, and this has been something that I've been working on for a while. This is actually the second time that I plan to release an album. So basically, around when the single Leviathan came out and the EP, I was actually planning on putting some of the work that I've done so far into an album because I already had enough material to actually construct an album back then. And we were planning to have it released by spring 23. But then everything with my asylum case happened. And of course, I was at some points trying to be careful of my activities as well because now I was under watch list and
Right, a target.
yeah, exactly. And we didn't really know what to expect. So we kind of gave it some time. And also, my songwriting was also taking a whole different direction. You know, I was practicing a lot more, I was doing a lot more as well and improving. And so I decided to just put a new direction towards the album. And yeah, and then it got released.
Did you ever feel you had to censor your maybe even your lyrics because you had that target on your back?
No, not really, actually. I mean, when I write, it's always good to know that when you write or when you produce or create, it's always in a safe space. So the first step, there's never, I always express things how I want to express them for myself. But and when it comes to publishing as well, it's again I have been trying to take a bit of a more careful approach, but it's not really something to be done carefully, you know, and especially since all of these things happened to me since the release of Leviathan and the start of Kaaboos, you know, this has all been just fuel for me to do this thing even more and just go after it. So I don't really see no, I don't think I'll ever see myself censoring what I want to say really at any point.
So no matter what I was just curious because if you have that microscope on you, I didn't know if you were worried about like, hey, I'm gonna piss somebody. Well, you're gonna piss somebody off with metal anyway, I guess. But you know what I'm saying, the higher ups.
Sure, yeah. Well, I mean, the thing is that once you're a target, then you're kind of a target. If you just say fuck off to the Islamic regime, or if you write an entire book criticizing everything, you know, it's still, I think the consequences are still the same. And in some senses, it's kind of like, okay, well, I can just go full force now, anyways.
Right. So
But
actually, maybe the opposite, liberating.
yes, exactly. Yeah, we're just really hoping for a positive outcome because besides that, there isn't really any other option.
Excellent. How cathartic was it writing this record?
What do you mean by that?
Sorry, hold on one second.
Yeah.
So how obviously you poured all of your emotions and everything that has been building. What is going on here? Sorry, my dogs barked and then everything went crazy.
No problem.
How is it you put everything you have into it and it's kind of a, do you find it like a release, getting all those emotions out in this, heavier kind of stuff?
Yeah, absolutely. I think, well, when the writing process goes on, it's like again, it's very internalized. I rarely share my material with people as well. So most of the thing that I do is for me, and like it's like I'm the only one who knows what's going on, how to direct it, and like the things that I'm saying and stuff. So it's like the collective work then suddenly goes out for other people to hear it as well. So of course it's a relief as well, and also like the fact that I'm not really holding all of this to myself anymore. It's just out there and people can read and like listen to it and like take it in, and also musically as well. Um, and yeah, it's always like that, and it's just great. Right now, I've shifted my focus to the next Kaaboos album, and it's so far it's been sounding quite different and actually quite a bit more aggressive.
Oh, wow.
And yeah, I'm actually really looking forward to constructing these together. But again, I'm just gonna spend time to just narrow down the path and the direction which the sound is going towards, and then I'm just gonna work along there.
I know you said you internalize them then, so it's an internal kind of thing. Do you ever feel like you put too much of yourself in these songs?
Um, it really depends, but I think if that happens, then it's kind of I think that's kind of the point. You know, I think music is a reflection of who you are as a person, your thoughts, your beliefs, your experiences, everything. I mean, these are all things that ultimately gets channeled through the music, whether intentionally or unintentionally.
Right.
So I think putting too much of someone into music is actually not a bad thing. It can be exhausting, but
Right.
again, it becomes a more accurate reflection of who the person is, what they're going through, and what their ideas are.
So then how does that work out like later on when you play those songs live, right? Because they were like a time capsule of a certain, maybe an era you didn't want to remember or an incident you didn't want to remember. And now it becomes, one of the in your playlist or your arsenal for a live show. How do you play that every night and not get yourself back in that zone?
Well, I mean, the music is played for the music itself. You know, ultimately, every song has its own sort of personal connection to, because every song can be different, every song sounds different, and also the theme and possibly even the intention behind writing every song is different as well. So it's more so like the background is everything is behind the reason to why like a work is done, but always like the work is always the work in itself. And if I'll be playing it live hopefully soon, then it'll like every time I play it as well, it's just feeling the essence of that one particular song that I play, especially when I play other people. Like I love to practice other riffs as well. Death is one of those bands that I really practice a lot on guitar, and
Oh,
it's
really?
always like, yeah, it's one of my all-time favorite bands, and I absolutely have so much respect for Chuck. And it's always like you play it and you just feel the essence of the song for what it is.
Right. Okay. So one more on the songwriting, if you don't mind. Do you feel a sense of responsibility then to your fans to write a certain way or a certain topic or a certain message?
No, never. I always write how I feel it's necessary to write, and I always portray what I feel like I need to portray. It's of course uh like feedback from fans is incredibly crucial to me,
Right.
but ultimately I don't think I will ever get to a point that I'm writing music for other people. You know, it always has to be a very personal journey, for it to be honest and for the true essence of what you're trying to achieve to actually pop out. So yeah.
Okay. Are you planning on I know you said you're hopefully taking it out on the road, so there's nothing coming up in the foreseeable future?
Not at the moment. We're planning on releasing the album on CDs, and we're going to do a little bit of, more promotion on that. And afterwards, I'm going to start reaching out to gather band members, and then we're going to go to rehearsals and then hopefully play live shows. But there hasn't I haven't really started the process of it properly yet. I was supposed to put announcement posters around town. I wanted to go a little old school, and I
Yeah.
printed out posters of announcing the album and also contact information for people to reach out if they want to join the band. But apparently, the municipality in Drammen doesn't like having posters hung up, so they didn't give me a permit for it, and they said if you put something like this up, then you're gonna get in trouble. So
Right.
I have to figure out another way.
Oh, that would have been really cool and old school.
Yeah, I really wanted to do. I've thought about it for so long. Like as soon as the album's gonna come out, I'm just gonna like put out posters everywhere, just print something out. But I guess the modern world doesn't really allow old school strategies like that anymore.
Oh, are you gonna do videos at all? I know a lot of the new kind of business model is videos every couple months or something, or is that not a thing for you?
Uh, it kind of is. Well, we have a plan for a little video in the future, actually, right now. But uh, yeah. Besides that, not necessarily. I'm not really a big person on social media either. I'm not. I think it's a good tool to have and to use. I think it's the most efficient tool to reach out to an audience, especially in today's world, but also especially like it is something that I also criticize a lot as well, and to some extent even demonize, you know.
Hey, it
So
definitely is a two-edged sword, and I can see where you're coming from.
yeah, yeah. I think like the way I think of it is that like I've said this in an interview with Ozzy Festival as well. Actually, I think we have been as species in a constant pursuit of advancement, and to a certain point, it's been great. You know, we have roof over our heads, we have everybody is a bit more stable and stuff. But from now onwards, we're just moving towards capitalism, and now you suddenly have all these unnecessary things that we don't even need. And this direction that we're going in right now is just getting us further and further away from the naturalities of like being a human. And I spend a lot of time thinking about these things. I don't have the answer to everything, but I think it's important to at least acknowledge it and think about it and just have a different perspective on the world that we live in today.
I 100 can we follow this for a second?
Sure.
I 100% agree with you, but do you think that the Pandora's box has been opened and there's no way to close this back up?
Uh, I hate to say this, but I think that's very likely. I mean, the people that have influence on these things, or all these so-called powerful people that create these things in the first place, they'll always have the power and the ways to manipulate and influence people. I mean, social media is ultimately designed in a way that is very captive for a lot of people. Again, not for everyone. It can be a great tool to use, but then you have to look how the majority of people are treating a tool like this and what it's doing to us humans.
Right.
And yeah, I think for a very long time, those people will have the power to manipulate the large portion of the population.
It's crazy how we got where we are.
Yeah.
So what is the what's next for you guys then? I know you said you're working on a new record. Is that sometime in 2025 or is that going to be further out?
Uh, Ideally, it's a bit further out because I want to give it time as well. I want to see if I can have a bit more of an extreme change in the direction. I fear if I release an album too soon, then it's going to be too similar to the first one. So I'm just trying to like work on it and just see what I can do with it, and also just take it from there.
Okay, let me go back for a second. You just mentioned something I was thinking about earlier. How do you, or obviously you spend some time then trying to make sure you don't write the previous record.
In some senses, yes, or at least it's not something that I try to avoid necessarily now, but I just want to like I'm trying to reach that like next step in a way. And it's just the process that I'm in right now.
because I mean you can't alienate your fans, so you still have to be, who you are, but you also don't want to make the same record.
Of course, yeah. I think it's also important to me to also like discover the new things within this journey and this path, and also like try out a few things. I mean, I've only been playing guitar for the past about 4 years now, and I'm self-taught. There's still a lot of things that I've kind of learned the wrong way. There's a lot of things that I've sort of neglected in my journey, and like I'm just gonna take the time to then see again what those new doors have in them, and then just pick one of those doors and go towards it.
Nice. And you're hoping to put together the full band?
Yeah, I think that'll be great. Yeah, I'm dying to play a live show.
Great. So do you play it all now live and then hire people, or you haven't even taken this out yet?
uh, no, not really. Um, yeah, I haven't. It's not really something that I've spent a lot of time thinking about it now. Um, but yeah, I mean, locally, the music scene around Drammen, at least where I am, is not great. I've met quite a few metalheads actually, but I have my own standards, and let's just say that not all of them
Right.
were fit for the standards, that I was
No,
looking
no, I
for.
get that. I'm just amazed though because you're like in the land of black metal, right?
Right. Yeah, yeah. I
At
think I'd have
epicenter.
to. Yeah, I live in Drammen, and Drammen is not. There are some local. I know Leak Black is a local black metal band. I've actually spoken with one of their guitarists,
Hmm.
and he could possibly be a contender. And there's also another band called Uskal, a drum-and-based death metal band. They're also pretty good bands actually. So mainly they're all very spread out. And of course, I have friends in Sandefjord as well. But it's just I need to gather people that is also most efficient for us to be able to just meet up and just practice and rehearse as much as we can. Because yeah, I think it'll. But yeah, it's gonna be good. It's just gonna have to take it slow. At the moment, I'm again just focusing on the next album.
Right. Okay. So that brought me to the end of my questions. Did I miss something you wanted to cover?
Sorry, what's that again?
I said that brings me to the end of my bulleted questions. Did I miss something you wanted to cover?
Uh, I don't
Where
think
can
so.
fans find you?
You can find me on Instagram. It's Kaaboos.Atash, and also Kaaboos is now available on Spotify and almost all streaming platforms as well. The album Anticosmic Rebellion is also available, and also on Iblis Manifestations' YouTube channel.
Awesome. I appreciate you taking the time, my friend.
No problem, Bruce. Thank you very much for having me.
Yeah, good luck. I really appreciate what you do, and I'm rooting for you. Fingers are crossed that it all works out. What do you say, February?
Yes, first week of February is the deadline.
Beautiful. Hopefully it all works out. We're sending Odin's love your way.
Cheers. Thanks, Bruce. I really appreciate that. And
Well,
also, thanks for having me again.
oh, always. No problem at all. It's always good talking to you, man.
Cheers, you too, man.
Cheers. Bye.
Bye.